Hi everyone, something a little bit different today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Chia cryptocurrency. So Chia, if you look at chia.net, if you have not heard of this before, it's a new crypto that's done by Bram Cohen. You may know the name, you may not. If you look at his Wikipedia, you'll see that he was the person responsible for BitTorrent, so a reasonably well-known person. And he's now moved into the crypto arena with Chia. So what I'm going to do today is take you through how to install the software and a little bit about how Chia works and how you go about setting up your system to try to win some Chia. So let's talk a little bit about how Chia works. Basically, the Chia program will create a file on your external drive. It's based on some mathematical formula which I have no idea how it works, but it will go ahead and create these files, and there are just over 100 gig each, so you need a reasonable amount of space. These files you can have are called plots, and you can have more than one of those. The more you have, the more chance that you're actually going to win a Chia coin. Now, creating these plots takes time. Your computer will go ahead and it will write 1.6 terabytes of data to your disk. So it works best if you do have an SSD, though SSDs do have a lifespan to them, so you've got to keep that in mind. It will write this data over and over onto your disk until it creates the final plot, which is the 105 gig file. It is worth mentioning that you don't need 1.6 terabytes of free disk space. Even though you'll finish up with a 105 gig file, you'll need 400 of temporary data to create that file. Once you have your completed plots, the Chia software will communicate with some master servers, and these servers will issue out challenges on a regular basis. It's about 10 to 14 seconds that a challenge will come through. If your plot that you have matches one of these challenges, then you win. It's pretty much as simple as that. It's a bit like a lottery or a bingo ticket. The thing is that one plot can win multiple times. So it's not like a lottery where you then have to throw away the ticket. You can keep it and continue to hopefully win another one. So let's click on the Install Chia button. And that will actually take us to the web page, which gives us a bit of information about setting up the software. If we scroll down a little bit, we can see this section where it says sleep kills plots. What does that mean? So what we need to do is make sure that while the plot is being created, your computer doesn't go to sleep. So you've got to make sure that you change all your power settings and things like that. So let's go to the Windows section, and we're going to click on the download link. And that will start the software downloading. So that's downloaded, so let's open up the file. It'll just take a little moment to open. So to start with, the software will start to connect into the network, and once it's started it will give us a couple of options. So the first one is to create a private key, so starting from scratch, or you can import an account that you've already got, a wallet that you've already got. So we'll go and create the private key. So what this will do is it will say here is your wallet and here are the keys that go with that. So it's going to be 24 words. You need to make sure that you record these words. That's the only way you'll be able to get back into your wallet for future. Once you've recorded these words down, we'll just click Next and start the program. Okay, so here we are. So what you can see is the first thing it's doing is it's trying to sync this node. So it basically has to download the entire blockchain onto your machine. So when Chia first started, this didn't take long at all. What we're finding now though is it's taking sometimes maybe 1 or 2 hours depending on your internet connection. So don't worry about that if it's taking a while. As long as up where it says status, that you can see that the blocks is going up, the numbers is going up, that it's synced. So let's click on the wallet tab now. So this would show you any Chia that you do have, the XCH, that's the what this is called. And now let's go into plots. So this is where you set up creating your plot. So if we look at my machine, this is a virtual machine, so it's set up slightly different, but what you'll see is I've got basically 2 drives here. I've got an external hard disk, and I've also got a SSD attached to it. So this is my plots that I've got in this machine so far, and you can see there's 9 of them, and if you scroll over you can see that they're 106 gig each. So they're ones that have already been created. So what we're going to do is go through and create a new one. And you can see on my SSD there's nothing in there, and we're going to use that as the temporary storage because it's much quicker to create the plot. The other tabs really at this point don't have anything in them. We need to have our plots before we can look at the farm, and the trade is obviously how we would go ahead and actually transfer any of our Chia to somebody else or to an exchange at that point. So let's go back to plots. So we're going to add a plot. So this is the creation of the plot, and this is the thing that will take the 6 to 20 hours. So the plot size, stay with the default, the 101 gig. So you've got options here. If you have a really powerful machine, you could actually plot in parallel, so you could do 2 at the same time. If you're not sure, probably do them one after another, so add a queue. So if you've got plenty of space, you can queue up 5 or 6 and just leave them. The advanced options, it's how much memory to allocate. There's very little benefit in increasing this. Where we do see some increase in performance is the number of threads. So if you want, you can change that to be 4. You can leave the rest. The bit field plotting. Now what that is if you're writing to a SSD, it's actually good to turn this on, and it reduces a little bit the amount of data that's written back to that SSD. It is slightly slower, but not a large amount. So this is your temporary directory. So this is where your SSD would be pointed to. So I'll go and find that. So we just select that directory, and then we scroll down and we will point to our final directory. So this is where the final plot file will be stored, and it doesn't matter about the speed of this drive at all. So you want to just use a normal old hard disk type drive. So I've selected that, and now what we would do is actually just press the button that says create plot, leave the machine. As we talked about earlier, you've got to make sure it doesn't go to sleep, and this will start plotting. Now over the far side you can view the log, and that will show you that things are starting. So at any point you can come back and check on that. As I've set this up just for a demo, I'm going to go ahead and stop this plot, and I'll delete that. What I will do is bring in some video from my other machine, which is actually doing some farming. The plots have been completed, so I can show you what would happen once your plots have finished. So this is from my other machine. I apologise for the quality, it's not quite perfect. So you can see that this is a fully synced node. You can see in green in the middle. So if we go over to our plots, we can see that we've got 9 plots in there of 912 gig, and the only option we have is to delete one of the plots from the disk if we have maybe run out of space. And now if we look into the farm, we can see that the status is farming, so that's awaiting for these challenges. We've won 4 Chia at this point, and we have 9 plots. So on my machine I've plotted 9 of these 100 gig files. And you can see that the system is saying it's expecting 2 months before I win another one. To reduce that time, you simply need to produce more plots. So let's talk about how your plots win. On a regular basis, these challenges are sent out, and you'll see highlighting one there. So there are two stages to this. There's a filter, which your plots need to pass with that challenge. So 99.9% of plots will fail at that point and they won't go any further for this challenge, for this round. So if your plot does pass this, it then goes on to the next step, which is where you'll see the section where it says proofs found. That's actually for a winning plot. So if you see a 1 in that section, your plot has won this round. You'll notice that the challenges do go up. If you watch that section there, you'll see that they change every 10 seconds or so. You see that's changed again, and different challenges will keep coming out. Hope that you've found this of some use. I'm just finding it quite an interesting little project, Chia. Let me know if you would like me to do some more of these videos. I've got a couple of other ideas.